I said, quickly jump in the boat. Nobody moved. One of them yelled at me, "Did I hear you say you were coming back?" Then one of the Marines said, if you come back, bring us some rifles.
Hello, everyone. We often celebrate Hollywood legends for their fame, fortune, and glamour. But today's story is about something much deeper. It's about an actor who endured hardship, loss, and war, and still emerged as both a Hollywood star and a true American hero. This is the remarkable story of Eddie Albert, the beloved face of Green Acres, and the man who once risked everything to save over 100 lives during World War II. Eddie Albert was born Edward Albert Heimberger on April 22, 1906, in Rock Island, Illinois. The eldest of 5 children, he grew up in a hard-working family that valued perseverance. When his family moved to Minneapolis, young Eddie learned the meaning of struggle early on, selling newspapers to help make ends meet and facing cruel taunts for his German surname during World War I. But he found an escape in the world of performance, joining his high school drama club and discovering a love for the stage that would shape his life. After graduating, Eddie attended the University of Minnesota, juggling odd jobs and singing with a small group called The Threesome. By the late 1920s, life took a turn. The Great Depression forced Eddie to leave college and find work wherever he could. He sold insurance, performed in radio shows, and eventually decided to drop his difficult last name, becoming simply Eddie Albert. His wit and charm soon brought him success on radio and Broadway, where he starred in plays like Brother Rat. That performance would change everything, catching Hollywood's attention and earning him a contract with Warner Brothers. But just as his career began to take off, an unfortunate misunderstanding with a studio executive's wife led to him being quietly blacklisted. Eddie didn't give up. In 1939, while sailing off the coast of Baja California, he stumbled upon suspicious Japanese activity and reported it to Army intelligence. Undercover, disguised as a clown and circus performer, he photographed German and Japanese positions along the Mexican coastline. Long before America entered the war, his courage and sense of duty would define the rest of his life. When the U.S. joined World War II, Eddie enlisted in the Navy, serving as a lieutenant aboard an attack transport ship during the brutal Battle of Tarawa. Under relentless fire, he risked his life again and again, rescuing more than 100 wounded Marines from the surf. For his heroism, he was awarded the Bronze Star with a Combat V, a distinction that proved he was not just a performer, but a true patriot. After the war, Eddie married actress Margot, born Maria Margarita Cancino, a talented Mexican performer who had built her own successful film career. Together, they formed one of Hollywood's most creative and loving partnerships. They welcomed a son, Edward Albert Jr., who would later become an actor himself, and adopted a daughter, Maria. Despite Margot being blacklisted during the McCarthy era for her political activism, the couple stood strong. They performed together on stage and even recorded music, proving that resilience was a family trait. Eddie's Hollywood career flourished through the 1950s and 60s. He earned an Oscar nomination for Roman Holiday alongside Audrey Hepburn and Gregory Peck, and later starred in classics like Attack and Oklahoma. But it was his 1965 role as Oliver Wendell Douglas in Green Acres that made him a household name. The series, a quirky comedy about a city lawyer trying to farm in the countryside with his glamorous wife Lisa, played by Eva Gabor, became an instant hit. The show's offbeat humor and heartfelt charm reflected Eddie's own optimism, always finding light in chaos. Even after Green Acres ended, Eddie kept working steadily, earning another Oscar nomination for The Heartbreak Kid and starring in The Longest Yard. Yet his greatest devotion was to his wife and children. When Margot was diagnosed with brain cancer in 1985, Eddie stood by her side until her passing, after 40 years of marriage. Heartbroken but determined to keep her memory alive, he maintained the home they had shared, complete with a cornfield and garden reminiscent of green acres. In his later years, Eddie faced his toughest battle: Alzheimer's disease. His son, Edward Jr., cared for him tirelessly, ensuring his father could stay in his beloved home until the end. On May 26, 2005, Eddie Albert passed away at the age of 99, holding his son's hand. Just a year later, Edward Jr. also passed from cancer, leaving behind the powerful legacy of a father who had lived with courage, compassion, and humility. Eddie Albert was more than a Hollywood star. He was a war hero, a family man, and a performer who believed in bringing joy to others. His story reminds us that true greatness isn't measured by fame or fortune, but by the kindness, bravery, and love we leave behind.